Today, we're diving deep into some very exciting Canon news, upcoming photography gear leaks, and the future of both APS-C and full-frame mirrorless cameras. Recently, I attended a photo exhibition in Osaka, hosted at the Canon Gallery, where photographers and enthusiasts gathered to exchange insights. What stood out the most were the fascinating rumors surrounding the Canon EOS R7 Mark II and the new RF300-600mm telephoto zoom lens, both of which are generating intense interest among professionals and hobbyists alike. The event, many conversations revolved around the anticipated Canon RF300-600mm F/5.6 L is USM lens and how it compares to Canon's past innovations like the EF200-400mm f/4 with a built-in extender. According to some reliable sources, the upcoming 300-600mm will not include a built-in extender, unlike its EF predecessor. Instead, it's expected to maintain a constant aperture of f/5.6, which puts it in a competitive zone for wildlife and sports photographers looking for reach, portability, and Canon's legendary color science. For photographers who regularly operate in the 300-600mm focal range, this lens could be a game-changer. Imagine pairing it with Canon's 1.4x or 2x extenders. You're suddenly working with an incredible 1200mm equivalent reach, all with Canon's sharpness and autofocus accuracy. This alone places the RF300-600mm in a category where it could rival Nikon's Z-mount super-telephoto offerings or even Sony's G-Master series. From what I've seen and heard, the RF300-600mm is likely to include professional-grade image stabilization modes, which are essential for handheld shooting in unpredictable environments. There's also speculation about the use of fluorite and super UD elements, combined with Canon's advanced coatings like APS-C to minimize flare and ghosting. These design choices suggest Canon is targeting not just enthusiasts but working professionals who demand reliability and optical excellence. Now, let's talk about autofocus. Canon's RF lenses are already famous for their nano USM and ring-type ultrasonic motors, but in a super telephoto of this size, Canon is expected to introduce a high-torque linear focusing motor. This means lightning-fast acquisition of moving subjects, whether it's birds in flight, fast-paced sports, or even motorsport photography. Canon's dual-pixel CMOS AF system, combined with the advanced focusing motor, should make tracking incredibly accurate. Another exciting point is the build quality. The RF300-600mm will most likely fall into Canon's L series line, with weather sealing, robust construction, and ergonomics designed for extended field use. However, this also means a premium price tag. Industry insiders are estimating a price range of $12,000 to $13,500, making it a significant investment but one that professionals would consider justifiable for the performance it promises. Now, shifting focus to the Canon EOS R7 Mark II, this is where things get really interesting for APS-C users. The original R7 was well received as a high-speed crop sensor body aimed at wildlife and action shooters, but it had notable drawbacks, especially in terms of rolling shutter distortion when using the electronic shutter. The R7 Mark II is rumored to solve this by introducing Canon's first APS-C stacked backside illuminated CMOS sensor. If true, this would represent a massive leap in readout speed, minimizing rolling shutter and delivering near-global shutter performance. This sensor advancement would put the R7 Mark II in direct competition with Sony's APS-C flagship, the A6700, and Nikon's Z50 successor. However, Canon's strength lies in its color rendering, dual-pixel AF tracking, and lens ecosystem, all of which make the R7 Mark II highly anticipated. But what does this mean for pricing? APS-C cameras have traditionally been marketed as budget-friendly alternatives to full-frame models. However, if Canon really implements a stacked BSI sensor in the R7 Mark II, the production costs will rise significantly. We could be looking at a retail price in the $2,500 to $3,000 USD range, possibly overlapping with or even surpassing the Canon EOS R6 Mark II. This raises an important question: who exactly is the target market? Wildlife photographers, sports shooters, and anyone needing the effective reach of APS-C crop will love this upgrade. Imagine combining the R7 Mark II with the RF300-600mm lens. You're essentially working with a field of view equivalent of 480 to 960 mm. Extendable with teleconverters to beyond 1800mm, all while retaining Canon's image quality. During discussions at the Osaka photo exhibition, many longtime Canon shooters shared concerns about shutter shock, noise, and limited buffer performance. In the current R7, the Mark II aims to address these by adopting the Digic X processor, possibly paired with a digic accelerator chip for ultra-fast continuous shooting. There's also talk of dual card slots, which would align the R7 Mark II closer to professional full-frame bodies and workflow flexibility. From my perspective, while the R7 Mark II is an exciting innovation, there's an undeniable trend: full-frame dominance. Since the release of the Canon EOS R3, Canon has been steadily improving its full-frame lineup with models like the R6 Mark II and R8, both offering phenomenal image quality at competitive prices. Many photographers who initially bought into the R7 system may eventually migrate to full-frame because the price gap is closing, while the performance gap remains significant. That said, APS-C still has its place. Cameras like the upcoming Canon EOS R10 Mark II could offer incredible value at a lower price point, much like Nikon Z50 did. Entry-level and enthusiast shooters often prioritize affordability, portability, and flexibility. In fact, current sales data shows that the Canon R10 has been performing very strongly, which means the R10 Mark II become the real volume seller for Canon, not the R7 Mark II. Still, I personally believe the R7 Mark II will be an essential camera for testers, reviewers, and professionals who want to explore Canon's latest APS-C technologies. Even if the adoption rate isn't massive, it will act as a research and development platform that informs future Canon releases. As for professional advice, if you already own an R6 Mark II or R8, there is little reason to downgrade to the R7 Mark II. Stick with full frame unless you absolutely need the crop reach. If you own the original R7 and are frustrated by rolling shutter issues, the Mark II could be a worthwhile upgrade. If you're an enthusiast considering APS-C for the first time, the R10 Mark II might deliver better value. For professionals with demanding telephoto needs, the RF300-600mm lens paired with either the R7 Mark II or a full-frame body like the R3 or upcoming R1 would be an unbeatable combination. In conclusion, Canon is clearly preparing for a major evolution in both lens design and APS-C body performance. The RF300-600mm F/5.6 L is USM promises incredible reach, sharpness, and stabilization, while the R7 Mark II could become the most advanced APS-C camera Canon has ever made. But the real question remains, will APS-C ever truly rival full-frame? In terms of image quality and professional adoption? Based on current sensor data and industry trends, full-frame still reigns supreme. For now, my recommendation is this: if you're serious about wildlife, sports, or bird photography, keep a close eye on the RF300-600mm, and if you're an R7 user struggling with shutter limitations, be prepared for the R7 Mark II launch, which might just change your experience completely.